Friends, we're about to begin the services for Mr. Andy Siegel. I would ask everyone to please find seats once you've concluded being acknowledged by the family. If anyone has a cellular device, I would ask you to please turn it to the off position. Officiating our service today will be Rabbi Michael Summer of Har Shalom Synagogue.
Esayenai el harim me'ayin yahavo ezri. Esayenai el harim me'ayin yahavo ezri. Ezri me'im Adonai Ose shamayim va'aretz Ezri me'im Adonai Ose shamayim va'aretz. The psalmist in those words wrote long ago, I lift my eyes to the mountains. What is the source of my help? My help comes from Adonai, maker of heaven and earth. God will not let your foot give way. Your protector will not slumber. See, the protector of Israel neither slumbers nor sleeps. God is your guardian. God is your protection at your right hand. The sun will not strike you by day, nor the moon by night. God will guard you from all harm. God will guard your soul, your going and coming now and forever. Our writings teach us, what is the measure of a man? His measure is the kind words people say when he isn't there, and the memories he creates that stay indelible in the minds of all who knew him. What is the measure of a man? It is the amount of love he leaves in people's hearts and the laughter he leaves upon people's lips. It is the length of time he is remembered, his good deeds and his kind words. Measured in the length of years, stories of his loving kindness get told by loved ones and friends alike. We are here too soon. Nothing prepares us for a moment like this. Andy Siegel lived an incredible 48 years, cut too short. Nothing prepares us for a moment when grief rushes into our life with loss and what ifs. In each other, we must hold Andy's memories to help carry us through our grief. Andy loved being surrounded by family and friends more than anything else. His spirit shone bright wherever he went. We sit in our grief today wishing we had one more moment, one more conversation, one more laugh, and perhaps one more barbecue. Family was so important to Andy. He held the moments surrounded by all of you closest to his heart. Andy worked to be present at the important moments in your lives and to leave you with cherished memories to sustain you in his absence. Loving son of Noreen, beloved brother of Jill, adored uncle of Amanda, and loved nephew of Marlene and Eddie, and friend to so many. We are blessed with the lives we share. May Andy's memory always be a blessing as we celebrate who he was and all he added to your lives. Mary Oliver wrote, when death comes like the hungry bear in autumn, when death comes and takes all the bright coins from his purse to buy me and snaps the purse shut, when death comes like the measles pox, when death comes like an iceberg between the shoulder blades, I want to step through the door full of curiosity, wondering, what is it going to be like, that cottage of darkness? And therefore I look upon everything as a brotherhood and a sisterhood. I look upon times as no more than an idea, and I consider eternity as another possibility. And I think of each life as a flower, as common as a field daisy, and as singular, and each name a comfortable music in the mouth, tending as all music does towards silence, and each body a lion of courage and something precious to the earth. When it's over, I want to say all my life I was a bride married to amazement. I was the bridegroom taking the world into my arms. When it's over, I don't want to wonder if I have made of my life something particular and real. I don't want to find myself sighing and frightened or full of argument. I don't want to end up simply having visited this world. And Andy did so much more than just visit this world. He meant so much to so many, creating that spark in everyone's life who knew him, leaving laughter and merriment wherever he went. The Byrds made popular these ancient words of Ecclesiastes when they sang that there is a time for everything and a season for every activity under the heavens, a time to be born and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to uproot, a time to tear down and a time to build, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to scatter stones and a time to gather them, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to search and a time to give up, a time to keep and a time to throw away, a time to tear and a time to mend, a time to be silent and a time to speak. As we now speak of Andy's incredible life, let's invite his friend Adam Rosnak to talk about Andy.
Thank you all for being here today. I'm going to read a lot of this because I won't make it through otherwise. If you know who I am, then you've known Andy for some time. Andy and I met back in 1989, our freshman year at Highland Park High School. I cannot for the life of me recall the day or week we connected, but I can tell you that the connection we made was going to be forever. Anyone here knows there is something about our friend Andy that is contagious. Just remember back to any time Andy was telling a funny story and laughing hysterically before even getting to the end of the story. That laugh, holy cow, that laugh could ignite anything. That wasn't the only thing our friend Andy had. I was lucky to have Andy be one of the beloved members of our core group. Little did I know, however, he wasn't just a member of my core group. He was a member of everyone's core group. Andy was Andy with everybody and everyone. No judgment, no nothing, just pure joy in meeting people, having fun, laughing, and being a part of something special. Being friends with Andy is something special. For those of us who had the honor and privilege to hang out at the pool at Sandy's place over the years, saw an extremely happy and giving Andy. If you happen to be at the fireworks ensemble behind the pool, you know what I mean about Andy's true nature, to give. Andy cared so much about the people around him. His idea of a good time was making sure his friends were having a good time. He was happiest when his friends were happy. Andy and I lost touch a couple times over the years. Once when I dropped out of high school and ended up finishing high school in California, and the latter more recently. I deeply regret not spending more time with Andy recently. I wish I'd made more tea times. I wish I'd made more dinner reservations. I wish a lot of things. But today, I have one wish. Rest in peace, Andy. Rest in peace.
Call up friend Linda Lensky to speak about Andy.
Good afternoon. On behalf of Andy's family, I would like to thank you for being here today. I know it means the world to Andy and his family that you are here today. My name is Linda, and Andy was my friend. I met Andy about a year ago. But in that short time, I got a real friend. When I met Andy, he had a huge smile on his face, love in his eyes, and hope in his heart. Andy let me in when he didn't have a lot of trust in women, but he also knew that I would be his friend till the end. I would like to share some things about Andy. Andy loved unconditionally. Andy inspired many by his words, his optimism, and his hope. Andy loved his family beyond measure. Andy had unwavering faith. Andy had a playful, fun-loving, mischievous heart. Andy was my friend, and to many others who will miss his witty comments, his shenanigans, and his smile. Today, Andy would want us to remember the beautiful attributes he displayed in his daily life. I'd like to share that I got to be with Andy until the end. My friend spent his remaining hours on this earth with two people, Bill and myself, who loved him unconditionally to the end. I have been blessed to have been given this beautiful thing called friendship. I know that in my heart, Andy's story will live forever. Today, I know Andy would want us to pause, take a moment, and remember a time of happiness in his company. Today, I choose to celebrate the life of a man named Andy, a man I called my friend. If I can, I'm going to end with this. You cannot lose a person, only their body. For the rest of them can be found in your heart and in your mind. Fly free, my friend. Fly free, Andy. Thank you.
Noreen, Jill, and Amanda, I thank you for sharing such incredible memories that allowed me to speak. Andy was born in Chicago in Park Ridge and grew up in Highland Park. Noreen, you recall that from the time he was born, Andy slept through the night the first week he came home. He was such a good baby, so easygoing, happy, a wonderful child. He was just a delight to have around. Andy graduated from Highland Park High School and attended the University of Wisconsin for a time before transferring and graduating from Columbia College in the city with a degree in broadcasting. His career landed him in the lighting industry, where he worked in commercial lighting for stores and restaurants. He had a passion for commercial lighting. He loved being in sales, but was also in charge of speccing out projects. He thrived in his work in the industry these last 15 years. He just loved the creativity and how it exposed him to architectural and design elements, working on very big projects in downtown Chicago, like Riverfront and in the Merchandise Mart. He loved working on such interesting projects as Louis Vuitton, among others. He just loved his work the way he loved living life. Jill, you remarked how wonderful Andy was as a brother. He was supportive when you went through the hard times in your life. He was always helpful when you needed him. And he would always come to your house to fix something with the lighting or other things. All your friends adored him. They loved his personality, smile, and sense of humor. And Amanda, you described your uncle as the glue of your family. Every time he was there, it felt like you were finally all together. You loved how you always felt adored by him, and he was so proud of all of your accomplishments. You remember visiting him when he lived in Florida and going to the ocean together. When you went to the pool, he would put you on his shoulders and walk around with you, just like in the beautiful pictures up here. Andy was always a hands-on uncle, always there for you and for many of your events, as many as he could attend. When you were younger, you two would just hang out. He would always make you laugh. During the time Andy lived in Florida, you all enjoyed spending winter break and spring break with him, having such good times swimming at the pool and laying out at the beach playing portable Scrabble. And Noreen, you remarked how after you fell and broke your pelvis, Andy was all hands on deck at your place. He came over whenever he could and helped with the laundry and the garbage, going shopping for you, and whatever you wanted, he was willing to do. He was that kind of son. He was so loving and attentive to your every need. For Mother's Day, he always loved to surprise you. You described him as a great kid and most wonderful son. Frequently, you two would meet up on weekends for lunch where Andy would tell you all about his projects. Andy had stomach issues most of his life, but just dealt with it. He always had such a positive attitude no matter how he felt. He thought he could beat it all and stay healthy. Andy always smiled his famous smile and surrounded himself with laughter, upbeat friends, and lots of fun. Andy lived to be so supportive of his friends and family. He maintained hundreds of friends from childhood on. Everyone loved Andy, adored him due to his kind and generous soul. Andy loved to barbecue baby back ribs, hamburgers, and hot dogs. He just loved grilling and having a backyard or house full of friends and family, hanging out and relaxing together. He was always willing to help anyone. He loved water skiing and snow skiing in Utah and Colorado. Noreen, you described how much Andy loved getting together for the Jewish holidays and spending time with his cousins who he loved hanging out with. Andy also loved celebrating every birthday at Ron of Japan. You all never missed a year celebrating birthdays for almost 40 some odd years. And graduations, any celebration to go to Ron of Japan. And Andy would always take home an extra fried rice with egg sauce so we could have more the next day. He was big into food, not healthy food, but loved good food. Good food, tasting food, especially chocolate, malted shakes, and eating at Culver's and Portillo's. Throughout his life, Andy loved traveling for leisure and for work. He explored Europe a few times for his companies and lighting shows in Germany, seeing Munich and Frankfurt. He went to Italy his last trip, seeing Venice and Verona. With his love of food, he thoroughly enjoyed taking a pasta-making class and brought home a pasta-making machine from Italy. He loved all the cooking classes he took during that trip. Andy also loved playing and watching golf. He loved watching the Masters on TV and golf tournaments, especially being able to, a few weeks ago, to watch the hole-in-one that happened recently at the championship. Andy felt the real sense of accomplishment having been able to purchase his own home. Becoming a homeowner meant the world to him. Even the week before his sudden death, Andy told his mom that with the recent good weather, he mowed his lawn and got ready for the summer. He trimmed his trees and bushes and was so excited about being in his own backyard, preparing everything for grilling season. Andy always wore the biggest smile no matter how he felt. Everyone he met, he made into a friend. He could talk to anyone. He maintained wonderful relationships with everyone he worked with, his coworkers, all the architects and lighting designers. He loved working with them all and retained almost every connection he'd ever made. Andy always was so outgoing, just brought such energy into a room, and everyone would just start smiling when he walked into a party or celebration. He loved life and loved living it surrounded by all of you. Noreen, you remarked that the last time you saw Andy was Mother's Day weekend. You went out for dinner Saturday night all together and for brunch Sunday. And afterward, Jill, you texted Andy, "So good to see you." And Andy quickly texted back, "I got to see you, Amanda, and Mom. That makes me happy." And you texted, "It's always good to see you, my brother." And then a week later, he was gone. Andy's incredible smile and laughter will live on in all of your memories. He will never be forgotten. His loss leaves the world a darker place, unimaginable without his light, his spirit, his warmth, kind nature, and generous soul. We are truly blessed with the lives we share. We all try to make the world a better place than we found it and be there for our family to celebrate as many special moments as possible. Andy certainly made the world a better place. He literally brought more light into the world with his work, his personality, spirit, and with his passion for all the things he did. You were all Andy's legacy. He loved sharing his life with you and sharing many laughs. May you always remember the best of Andy in his strength and health. May his memory always be a blessing, as he was such a blessing in your lives. The poet Merritt Malloy wrote, "When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old people who wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother and sister walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved. And if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not on your mind. You can love me most by letting hands touch hands, by letting bodies touch bodies, and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away." We turn to our pamphlets to read the 23rd Psalm together. The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. We continue with El Malei Rachamim, our memorial prayer. Please rise. El Malei Rachamim, Shochen Bamromim, Amse Menucha Nechona, Tachat Kanfei Hashchina, Im Kedoshim Torim, Kezohara Ki Amazirim, Et Nishmat Andy Ben Norim, Shalach Lolamo, Baal Rachamim Yasterehu, Beset Kanafav Lolamim, Vitzror Bitzror HaChayim Et Nishmato, Adonai Hu Nachlato, Ve'yanuach Beshalom, Al Mishkavo V'namar Amen. Compassionate God, eternal Spirit of the universe, grant perfect rest in your sheltering presence to Andy Siegel, who has entered eternity. O God of mercy, let him find refuge in your eternal presence in the shadow of your wings, and let his soul be bound up in the bond of everlasting life. God is his inheritance. May he rest in peace, and let us say, Amen. We continue with the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, bi'alma divrach roteh v'yamlich malchuteh, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kari v'maru, Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudusha barichu, Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'maru, Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'maru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'romav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael, v'maru, Amen. May God grant peace to those who mourn and comfort to those who are bereaved as we say together, Amen. You may be seated. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, imru, Amen.
Our service here is concluded. Shiva will take place beginning at 4:30 at Max and Benny's, 461 Waukegan Road, Northbrook, Illinois, 60062. For those of you who are online, that information is available on our website. Memorial contribution, the family welcomes contributions to a charity of your choice in Andy's memory. Family should know no more sorrow. I would ask you to please rise as the family is escorted from the chapel.